What if the missing piece to turn the Lions' defense into the most feared unit in the NFL was already on his way to Detroit? What if the name that could redefine our pass rush wasn't just a fantasy or a rumor, but a move quietly building behind closed doors? And what if I told you this name wasn't just another player, but a proven, battle-tested force who has destroyed game plans across the league for years? Lions fans, this is Lions News Fan Report, and the air in Detroit right now feels electric. Like we're standing on the edge of a seismic shift that could change the course of this season. The whispers aren't whispers anymore. The dots are connecting. Matthew Judon, a 4-time Pro Bowl pass rusher, could be walking into Allen Park soon, and if that happens, the entire NFC is going to have a problem on its hands. Think about it. Judon is no fading veteran looking for one last payday. Coming off a season where he racked up 5.5 sacks for the Falcons, despite battling through adversity, he's still very much in his prime. He's the kind of player who brings production and presence, the guy a fence's game plan around, and the fit in Detroit, almost poetic. West Bloomfield born. Grand Valley State product. A career that's taken him from the dynasty of New England to the grit of Atlanta. And now, possibly, back home. The timing couldn't be more perfect. Aiden Hutchinson is already a force of nature, a game wrecker who draws double teams and still finds ways to disrupt. Marcus Davenport brings upside but carries injury concerns. Behind them, there's raw talent and hunger, but also questions about depth and consistency. Insert Matthew Judon into that rotation, and suddenly every offensive coordinator in the NFC is staring at a nightmare. Slide protection to Hutchinson, and Judon is one-on-one. Try to chip Judon, and Hutchinson eats your quarterback alive. It's pick your poison, and both choices are lethal. And let's not overlook what this says about the state of the franchise. 5 years ago, proven veterans avoided Detroit. They saw it as a dead end. Today, a player like Judon, with options, with a reputation, with a digest, would choose to be part of what's building here. That's a cultural shift you can't fake. That's Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell creating an environment where winners want in. Dan Campbell, of course, is playing it cool in public. Cool in that way only a coach who knows exactly what's going on behind the scenes can be. He's giving the media the line about evaluating the guys we have here right now. But anyone who's followed Campbell's tenure knows that's not the full picture. That's the kind of statement you make when the real work is happening in the shadows. When your front office is quietly laying the chess pieces on the board and positioning them perfectly before making a move that changes the game. It's the poker face before the all-in. We've seen this pattern before with Detroit. Moments when Campbell and Brad Holmes keep their cards close to the vest, downplaying the rumors just enough to avoid tipping off the competition. The tone, the phrasing, the almost casual delivery. It's all part of the playbook. Because in the NFL, the last thing you want to do is alert 31 other teams that you're about to make a move that could shift the balance of power. You work quietly. You keep the noise low. And then, when the moment is right, you drop the hammer. And Lions fans know it. They can feel it. You can hear it in the way people are talking at training camp, in the buzz online, in the knowing smiles. When Judon's name comes up in conversation, they're already painting the mental picture. Matthew Judon pulling that Honolulu blue jersey over his pads for the first time, the crowd roaring as he's introduced, the cameras catching Aigan. Hutchinson's grin on the sideline as he realizes he's no longer the lone apex predator on the edge. Imagine that moment in the tunnel before kickoff. Hutch on one side, Judon on the other, both bouncing on their toes, helmets tilted down, ready to unleash chaos on whichever poor quarterback has to face them that week. And it's not just about the spectacle, though, let's be honest, the spectacle would be incredible. It's about what that combination means on the field. Hutchinson already commands double teams and chips on nearly every snap. Add Judon to the mix, and suddenly offenses are in a bind. Do you double Hutch and leave Judon one-on-one? Do you slide the line toward Judon and trust your tackle to survive against Hutch? Either way, you're sacrificing something, a tight, and staying in to block instead of running routes. A running back forcing the pass protection instead of slipping out as a check down option. That's not just pressure on the quarterback. That's pressure on the entire offensive structure. This isn't some small rotational upgrade. This is a move that could fundamentally change the way opponents prepare for Detroit. It's the kind of addition that forces coordinators to spend hours in the film room just trying to survive, not scheme to win, but scheme to not get embarrassed. And it's the kind of move that could make Ford Field in January one of the loudest, most intimidating places in all of football. Picture the crowd feeding off a defense that's sacking quarterbacks, forcing fumbles, and getting off the field on third down with authority. Picture playoff opponents walking into Detroit knowing they'll face 60 minutes of relentless, suffocating pressure from two of the league's fiercest pass rushers. Could this be the final piece that turns a dangerous defense into an unstoppable one? Could this be the exact move that makes the Lions' home turf a fortress, where visiting teams know their season might end the moment they step through the tunnel? If Juden really does land in Detroit, the answer might not just be yes. It might be that the rest of the NFC never saw it coming until it was too late. If you believe this is the move that could push the Lions over the top and turn our defense into a nightmare for the entire NFC, then hit that like button right now. Subscribe to Lions News Fan Report, and let's talk about what Matthew Juden's arrival could really mean for Detroit. Because if this happens, and all the signs say we're closer to that reality than anyone outside Allen Park realizes, it's not just adding another weapon. It's building a front seven that can dictate games from the first snap to the last whistle. This isn't just about sacks. It's about control. About forcing offenses to abandon their plans, to panic, to make mistakes that Detroit can pounce on. Juden is more than a pass rusher. He's a tone setter, a disruptor whose presence is felt even when he doesn't touch the quarterback. Pairing him with Hutchinson means every snap becomes a bad choice for the opposing offense. You can't roll out. You can't buy time. You can't chip both edges at once without gutting your passing game. The Lions could start collapsing pockets faster than quarterbacks can read their progressions. And in January football, when margins are razor thin, that's the difference between another good run and a Super Bowl appearance. It's also about leadership. Juden has been in locker rooms that have gone deep into January, has seen how to prepare for the biggest moments, and knows what it takes to win when everything is on the line. Imagine the impact of that experience on younger players. Hutchinson, James Houston, Allen McNeil, guys who already have talent but can now learn the fine details from a veteran who's done it at the highest level. That's not just an addition for this season. That's planting seeds for sustained dominance. And think about the message this sends to the rest of the league. For years, Detroit was a place veterans avoided. Now it's a destination. Now, a player like Juden, with his resume and his options, could choose to come here because he believes in the vision. That's the culture Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell have built, and it's exactly why this move feels so real. When winning becomes part of your identity, great players want in. Of course, it's not a move without costs. It means fitting another significant salary under the cap. It means possibly making tough choices down the road. But for a team that has the window wide open right now, that's the kind of decision championship organizations make. The risk is high, but so is the reward. And in the NFL, you don't get unlimited chances at the top. Sometimes you see your moment, and you take it. So here's the question, Lions Nation. If you could see Juden line up opposite Hutchinson this season, knowing the havoc they could wreak together, would you make that move right now? No hesitation, even if it means sacrificing some future. Flexibility? Because this could be the decision that defines the 2025 season. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Tell me if you think Juden is the missing piece. And let's get this conversation going. And if you're as fired up as I am about what this defense could look like, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to Lions News Fan Report, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss a single update. We might just be on the verge of something special in Detroit, and I want every single one of you along for the ride.